Hello again, I am Jim Bob. Welcome back to American Outback. It is Sunday, the 7th of April. Sorry, of May. Sunday, the 7th of May. We are 2 days away from Big Bud going live. 2 days. Are you excited? I know I am. Cannot wait to get my hands on that gear. As I was mentioning at the end of the last episode, I do have a test farm that is set up. It's almost ready. Just getting the last couple of little bits in place that I need to, so that all the equipment can be tested and, you know, used the way it's supposed to be. And once I've done my my testing and composed my thoughts on what I think of the DLC, I will be sticking that in a video and uploading it straight to YouTube for you guys, so that you can see what I feel of the DLC, see what it's worth in terms of what the equipment is, how it performs, what it brings to the base game, whether I think it's worth it. I mean, on paper, I am already of the opinion that it's going to be worth it. On paper, obviously it'll be a little bit different in the real world. We will have to see exactly how it performs, and hopefully it'll be bug free. I know there are a couple of little issues with the Coon DLC that weren't necessarily picked up on straight away. I will be obviously paying as much attention to things like that as possible to see if there are issues with similar issues with those pieces of equipment that we had with the Coon stuff as well. I'm hoping everything will go nice and smoothly. But as always, we won't know until we actually get our hands dirty, so to speak. Just joining these fields together, this is going to give us a huge extra chunk of land on top of having these two fields, as well. I mean, look how wide this expanse is between the two fields. It's massive. So the great thing about combining these two fields is not only do we have a nice long field, but we have this huge extra chunk of ground to link them for free. I mean, we're getting at least half the length of field 1, I would say, added on as, extra ground to those two fields. Maybe even a touch more than that. It's a really nice big stretch of land, as you can see. And I'm hoping over the next 2 episodes we can get all of our crop harvested and ready to sell, and we'll see just how much money we have ready for episode 9, which is when we'll have access to the Big Bud DLC. So hopefully we'll have enough from these soybean fields and even our wheat field as well. And I will be doing the baling on that as well. I'll be storing some bales for feed and for bedding, and the rest I will sell for additional money, because every penny is going to count now. Every single cent, every single dollar is going to go towards clearing some of that debt and then buying something from the Big Bud DLC. There will be something from that DLC on the farm when you come back on Thursday the 11th for episode 9. Obviously this is the first of a double parter, so the other episode will be available shortly after this one. But this is the last recording session before the DLC goes live. So we need to make as much money as we possibly can. I don't want to mod any money in. You know, I did a little bit of that at the start, just to get our farm up and running. But I don't want to mod any more in. I don't really want to do any more contract work off camera. So whatever we've got is what we've got. What I may do is, if we have time to actually start planting, is I may plant another set of crops and then keep them fertilized and grown off camera, so that when we come back on the 11th for episode 9, we will have, you know, an additional round of crops to go. We'll see how we get on over the next 2 episodes. Like I say, we've still got field 20 and field 1 to harvest, and we've got baling to do as well. And then we have to sell those grains. You know, we're not going to be storing any of the wheat, we're not going to be storing any of the soybeans, or at least not long term. They will initially go into the silo until the price is right, but they will be sold before May 9th, before the DLC goes live, so that we will have some money ready and waiting for us, and then, you know, we'll know exactly what we can afford to buy based on how much money we have available. Because the fact sheets that come out every Friday, or have been coming out every Friday, they are done now. That is it. No more fact sheet Fridays. So we have the prices of all of the equipment. What are we up to in capacity? One more pass after this one will put us just about at the limit. And then that'll pretty much fill up our truck as well. I'm just debating whether or not... Well, I'm going to need to bring the truck back anyway, because I'm going to need to have it on position for field 20. I was thinking I could maybe just fill up the auger wagon and not have to worry about the truck, but I forgot we still got soybeans on 20, just a little bit to the south on the map as well. How many soybeans do you think we're going to have at the end of our total harvest? Place bets now. I'm thinking somewhere in the region of around 100,000 litres. Actually, no, it might even be more than that. We have 35. This field will take us to 70, 80 maybe. Maybe 80. Then we have the other field as well. That could be 25. Yeah, I think somewhere in the region of 100 to 110 is going to be where we're going to end up. That's a lot of soybeans. And if we can get a really good price, if we get lucky and get a great demand, oh, how good would that be? If we just by some sheer stroke of luck, if we get a great demand for those soybeans. I mean, it's highly, highly unlikely to get a great demand this early into the start of a new farm. You never know. But I kind of doubt we'll actually get it, but that would be amazing. If we could get that great demand, that would be a game changer. Because it would have to be a really high one, surely. I mean, I've seen just a green price of soybeans on medium, which is the level we're playing at, go up to 1,800 on this farm. So, if we can just hit 1,800, that would be a huge injection of cash for us. But if we can actually get this all the way up to, say, over, well, 2,500, if we get a great demand, that would be an insane amount of money off a single harvest. I think more likely we're going to be looking at around 1,600 per 1,000 litres. What I might do is I'll probably sell the wheat first and see if I can use that to kick the price of the soybeans up just a little bit. You never know, it might work. Yeah, we're drifting. I really can't wait to use that 10.5 metre plough on a field this long as well. I have been playing about with the 6.5 metre Salford plough on this map, on my test farm, on these long fields here, but 10.5 metre plough, that's going to be impressive. That might be the first piece of equipment that we buy, actually, because by that point we'll be getting close to needing to harvest, well, needing to plough our fields again, so that might be our first purchase. I think it would make more sense to buy that than it would to maybe buy, or at least we could at least hire that anyway to use it if we don't buy it outright. But given that, you know, this field here is huge and the other two fields are going to be a lot smaller in comparison, you know, maybe a super seeder is going to be kind of a little OTT at this stage. We certainly aren't going to need the manure spreader, because we're not going to have 50,000 plus litres of manure by that point. You know, we haven't even got our cows up to 100% yet, and there isn't enough time to generate that much poo in such a short space of time. It just isn't going to happen, not unless we you know, we feed our cows, you know, lots of like bran or something. Feed them figs, clear out their digestive tracts. I wonder if we could give them, instead of Imodium, give them Imodium, with the emphasis on moo. Help clear their passages a little bit, get them producing a little bit faster. I think that would probably be considered animal cruelty. So maybe we'll not bother doing that. Maybe we'll not force feed our cows laxatives. We're almost halfway done with our joining. So I had an unexpected expense a couple of days ago. My microwave conked out. I'm not entirely sure what happened to it, but you know, it would still switch on, it would spin round, it would make the noises, and the lights would be on and everything, and it would run through the timer, and then I would take my food out and the food would be stone cold. Not good. So I had to buy a new microwave. Something I hadn't expected and hadn't really budgeted for, because you know, how can you budget for a new microwave when you don't know your old one's broken? You know, luckily I had a little bit of money put aside, and that has now been allocated to buying a new microwave, which came today, and it's much nicer than my older one. It's bigger, more powerful. It's got a nice digital display and some additional features that my old one didn't, which is always useful. Well, we are full. Time to go unload at the truck. And yeah, I ordered it through Amazon, and I've already tried out Prime before. I did the 1 month free trial thing. This was before Prime Video was really a thing. So it was a few years ago, but you know, I had a month of unlimited one-day delivery, and so I started another 1 month free trial. I clicked on it to start a 3 month trial, not expecting to get it because I have had it in the past, and it gave me a 3 month trial. So not only did I get my microwave really quickly, but I also now have 1 month's access to Amazon Prime Video. So I've spent the last 2 days binge watching the Grand Tour on my TV. It's good to see Hammond, Clarkson and May still up to their usual antics. Top Gear hasn't been the same without them. So it's been good to see those guys back in action on the TV again. And I'm going to be watching. I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's The Man with the High Castle or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. But the drama that theorised what would happen if Hitler had won the war and invaded America, I think, is the basic premise. I've heard it's been getting good reviews. Obviously, as a Netflix subscriber, you know, I don't have the money to subscribe to multiple different services, so it was Netflix or Prime, and I would rather pay $7.50 a month for my HD Netflix stream and cancel it whenever I want than pay £80 for a 12-month Prime membership, which, while gives me free one-day delivery, as well as giving me giving me Amazon Prime Video. I don't buy that many things off Amazon, certainly not frequently enough to justify spending £80 a year to get the delivery. And Netflix has got a lot of shows coming up that I'm looking forward to watching. It's got a lot of shows up that I'm, watching already. Has a large catalogue of its own content already, and I just don't know if there is enough stuff on Prime to make it worthwhile switching. This month's free trial is actually going to be quite useful because I'll be able to see, what shows they have, how good their own custom stuff is, their own privately made shows are, what kind of library of content that they have that they've leased from other studios and broadcasters, and I'll be able to do a sort of a side-by-side comparison of Prime and Netflix for a month before I inevitably end up cancelling my subscription. Whatever happens at the end of this month, I won't be renewing Prime. I will be cancelling subscription, but it will give me a good benchmarker because I just don't have £80 to drop off in a single lump payment. Not since I've just spent 60 on a microwave. But it'll be interesting to see just what the difference is between the two services, so that in the future I will have a more educated reasoning when it comes to making a selection between the two services. If I reach a point where I have enough money and I feel like making a switch, I'll be in a better position to know exactly what I'll be getting with Prime as opposed to Netflix. But for now, I have every intention of sticking with Netflix, just because, as I said, they have a lot of shows that I'm really enjoying, a lot of shows coming up that I'm really looking forward to, and they have that Marvel stuff which is just so good as well. I'm really looking forward to season 2 of Jessica Jones, season 2 of Luke Cage, and The Defenders, all coming this year. There's a lot of stuff I'm really looking forward to seeing. And obviously there is also the shows I'm currently watching. So season 3 of Better Call Saul. And the other show that I'm really enjoying that is a Netflix original at the moment is Designated Survivor. Really enjoying those two. Just not liking the have to wait a week for each episode. That's the only thing that's bugging me about those two shows at the moment. Right, so I'm going to park this truck now at the top of field 20. Oh, I've just thought, did I might not make it down. Ooh, that's going to be close. Am I actually going to make it all the way down? I honestly don't know. Alright, let's park the truck. Where is the auger? There it is. No, I didn't empty him, did I? Ooh. Is my harvester going to make it all the way down to the end? If you're a betting man, place bets now. I have no idea. I genuinely don't know if that's going to make it all the way down there or not. I have crop destruction switched on, so I can't just pull alongside. Oh, there's the 80% warning. Oh, it's going to be close. I think I may pull up just short of the end. Oh, this is going to be tight. This is going to be really tight. What are we up to? I can't see, it's too small. I think we're at 90% now. 91. 92. We should just about make it. I think this is a capacity of 12.5. And we are just hitting 12 now. Yeah, we'll just make that. Oh, that was tight. That was really close. So we need to be perfectly alongside this thing to pick it up as soon as it starts the final pass up the field. So we should end up with about 20,000 beans or so left in the auger at the end of this pass, maybe 21. It's not quite as wide. Oh, he's stopped. There he goes, because he's parked underneath the trailer. Let's get him moving. Just try and keep a straight line. Can't really see very clearly, but you can see the grain through the little window in the auger there. It's a shame you can't really see anything in the mirrors. Maybe if I move the pipe. No, you still can't see because the sunroof is in the way. Let's close the pipe back down again. Let's drift in a little bit. There we go. Find a new line to drive. That should be good enough. We're too much now. Little correction. Just trying to watch that grain stream pouring in through the window at the back. There we go. Straighten her up. We started drifting back in again. Never mind. I can't even see who's driving the combine. Pull forward a little bit more. Now we have a bloke. Some random bloke. I don't know his name. Should we give him a name? Let's call him Dave. Dave is driving the combine. Oh, we're too far forward. We're not actually emptying. There we go. Sorry, Dave. Can't see him. Maybe he's making rude gestures at me for pulling too far forward. You can't see it, but I'm now shaking my fist angrily at Dave. Been playing a lot of NBA again over the last couple of days as well. Getting my my team as tuned and ready as I can for the playoffs. We're currently sitting top of the Eastern Conference. Comfortably top as well. We've got the best record in the entire league, let alone the conference. I think we're something like 16 games, 17 games ahead of second place. Currently on a 22-23 game win streak. And Vucevic, who's been out injured and for the last half a dozen games or so, has just come back against the Bulls. We beat the Bulls. Bulls are really struggling for some reason. I don't know what's gone on with them in game, but it looks as though they either traded. Well, they got rid of Matthew. They got rid of Derrick Rose, not Matthew. Derrick Rose, and he now plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. And the team is in a shambles. It really is. They are, I think, 10th in the Eastern Conference at the moment. They're not even going to make the playoffs. Well, it's really tight for those last two places, I think, in the playoffs. So they have a chance. They have a chance of actually just sneaking in, but it's a very, very slim chance. I don't think the Bulls will even make the playoffs. But I'm just trying to get my team in tip-top shape. So Vucevic has just come back from injury, and he had a decent game. So hopefully, he will be in fighting fit form at the start of the playoffs. We've only got, I think, 7 games left to play now before we go into the playoff season. And I am definitely going to be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then obviously, depending on how well I get through teams, will determine who's going to be number 1 seed in the playoff finals. Assuming I get there. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that I don't make it, but given how well my team's been playing this year, and they have been performing amazingly well, it's unlikely, unless several players get seriously injured very quickly. It's highly unlikely that we are going to struggle in the playoffs. Been a strange season at the Magic. We've been playing really nice basketball. I'm at a point where, although I'm the primary point scorer and rebounder, and on some occasions assist leader as well, other players do have very strong, prominent roles within the team, and they've been playing really, really well. The 3-point shooting that the team has been producing has been really, really nice. Been an amazing weapon for us this season, especially when I've been able to draw a couple of defenders onto me while I've been backing towards the hoop, and then just switch the ball back out to the edge of the arc to either Fournier or Oladipo, and they just ping a 3-shot in. So I may post a little bit of footage from my playoff games. Just little snippets, little highlights here and there. I certainly won't necessarily be posting full matches, because I play full length matches, so 48 minutes of game time plus stoppages for penalties and timeouts. Although I do simulate through the times when I'm benched, and then brought back on again I'd play it at full regulation time, normal speed. So, all right. So while he's working, let's finish combining this field. So yeah, what I might do is I might post little bits of little highlights from the journey through the playoffs, and if I make it to the finals, I think what I'll do is I'll probably post each game from the finals. But my players had a stellar year, and it's my second full season. I'm currently up for MVP for the season. I'm up for most improved player and best defensive player as well. Plus I was picked to play in the All-Star game, which was great. I appeared in the All-Star dunk contest, and although I got completely annihilated in the dunk contest because I only made one of my 3 dunks, the dunk I pulled off was the highest scoring individual dunk of the contest. I fluffed the first 2, but scored an absolute screamer. 50 points was my score for my 3rd and final dunk, which was also the hardest dunk that I attempted as well. It's kind of ironic that I attempted a couple of easier dunks for the first 2, fluffed both of them, and then I just went, what the hell, went for the hardest dunk I could think of in the final round. Nailed it, got the highest individual score out of that particular round, but because the dunk contest is a total score, got absolutely annihilated in the overall standings, which was a shame. Oh wow, we really drifted inside there, didn't we? Made a real mess of that. Alright, let's try that again. I'm not worried about this being overly neat, because I will at some point in the future, probably when we actually need to replow the whole field, I will straighten up and maybe even expand the edges ever so slightly. So we'll just leave it like that for now. It doesn't need to be perfect, not at this stage, but I will be looking to tidy those boundaries up in the future. How are we doing for time? We've got about 10-12 minutes left to get that field harvested. Isn't going to happen in its entirety in this episode, I don't think. And then we have our wheat to harvest in the next episode, and then that's it. No more footage until Big Bud. So, we should get all that done, and then what I'll do is I'll probably accelerate time up to when the crops are, or at least the soybeans are best to sell, and then save and wait for you guys to come back at the start of episode 9. Oh, helper is blocked. That's not good. At the start of episode 9 we will look to sell those soybeans, raise some money, and then buy something from Big Bud. Well, we're up to 40-something%. That's fine. Plenty of time yet. I'm going to get this Optum immediately started on planting as soon as these fields are joined. We'll also get them sprayed as well. Like I said, I want to try and maybe get us to a point where we can at least get another harvest started, or at least another set of crops started as quickly as possible. And I would really love it if we could introduce a big bud tractor. So to do that, we're going to need to clear whatever our negative balance is going to be, and on top of that raise an additional 225,000. That's how much the 450 is going to cost. So we need to probably have around about 250 to 260,000. That's how much we're going to need to clear once we've factored in fertilizer costs and seeding costs as well. So not cheap. What are the prices looking like at the moment, just out of interest? Well, we have 75,000 tonnes. Oh, well, we had that extra 5,000. Oh, we got some extra crops. I forgot about those. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, because the soybean crop price isn't great at the moment. 1,600 isn't bad, but it can go higher than that. We can do better than 1,600. So we have other grains that we can sell. And we'll try and make sure we get the best possible price on all of those as well. So I'd completely forgotten that we, because we're playing on medium, we would get some additional starting grains. That definitely helps. Alright, so where is he on the field? Can I see him from here? Oh, he's coming up. Okay, so yeah, we need to unload him pretty quick. Right now, because he won't go full. I don't think he'll go all the way down the field. Might need to move the truck ever so slightly. Oh no, he'll clear the truck. He'll be fine. There we go. So if we just park that there like that. He should now empty all the way into the auger and then spin off as soon as he's done and carry on harvesting the field. Trying to be as efficient as possible. I would ideally like to have the fertilizer already started, but I just don't think we can get away with that. So the fertilizer will probably get done once this field is actually finished. And there he goes. He's emptied. He's started his way back down the field again. And I think what I may well do as well is run a little bit long at the start of at the end of the next episode, the end of episode 8. Push that episode up to 50-55 minutes. Just get that extra 10 minutes of work in. Because as I said, once that episode is done, that's it. There'll be no more recording until Big Bud is released. What I may do actually, here's a possible thing. Instead of having, again, it depends on the horsepower requirements. I've got them written down somewhere, but I could potentially look at getting. I don't think I'll be able to do it. I don't think I'll have enough horsepower to pull the thing, but we could look at maybe getting the Great Plains Cedar you know, which will be able to plant everything and get rid of our horse pronto, which would raise a nice bit of extra cash towards it. But like I said, I just don't think I'm going to have a tractor powerful enough to pull it. I think I'm going to need something like a Big Bud 450 as an absolute minimum to be able to pull that seeder. Well, there we go. This is it. Fields are being joined. This is the final pass. The final little section. Wouldn't you know it? Missed the touch. There we go. Okay, so we now have one massive, massive field that's all prepped and ready to go for our next harvest. So let's whiz this back to the farm. Let's go this way. Let's go get our seeder. Let's go get our sprayer. And get that. Get those guys in motion. And then next episode, finish off that field. Well, no, there won't be much of it left by that point. Do the wheat harvest on field 20. Sorry, on field 2. And try and get the baling done as well, and that way we can get our cows sort of fed with TMR, and also give them some straw bedding as well, so that we can start producing some manure. Now, where did I put my... I need to get a second sprayer, I think. Got one just here. Well, it's not too bad. It's by the fuel point. It's a good enough place to remember. Let's clean the plough. Come on, tick tock, time's running down. We'll try and get those other jobs started before I have to end the episode. Weight's fine. Okay, let's jump in. Let's go dump the equipment. Okay, there we go. So ploughs it in. Let's drop the weight off. Go grab the seeder. Where is the seeder? The seeder's back over here. So we need the seed tank. As you can see, this is where I relocated my field working equipment. You know, so my sprayers, my fertilizer, and my weeder all migrated up here. Let's top these tanks up. Come on, seed. Actually, while he's doing that, let's grab our fertilizer so we can put stage 1 down on the field, and we'll use the sprayer, I think, this time. Actually, no, we still got some. We should still have some pellets left. Yeah, it won't be enough though, I don't think. We'll use the Metris. Just trying to get in there now. I parked it up with a tractor that didn't have dual wheels. I wasn't thinking about ease of access. Alright, let's see how expensive this is going to be. Pretty expensive, I'm guessing. While he's filling up, let's get this guy over in place. We've almost got a full grain tank as well. Everything's going off at once and the episode's about to end. Oh, there is the end of the episode. That's the buzzer. Okay, so we'll be a minute or two over. Uh, it's a frantic finish here to episode 7. Scrambling to try and get everything in position ready for the start of the next episode. And I think we're just gonna have to give up the ghost and just end it here. So thank you all for watching. My name's Jim Bob, and I will catch you back very, very shortly in part 8. Don't go anywhere.